Hello again, Michael Freeberg here from beautiful North Carolina. Today I'm going to be shaving with an old favorite, the Mongoose, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But today's soap is the first of a couple new products. It is another first Canadian shave soap product, the Mañana De Lila. This is a kind of a bright floral scent. Lilac and neroli, I believe, are the first two scents in there. There's apparently sandalwood and vetiver and some lang lang. This actually is a very nice scent. The initial first hit is a little bit perfumey, but that settles down very quickly into a nice, well-rounded floral scent. You definitely get a bit of the sandalwood underneath, bit of a richer scent than you might initially suspect from that first perfume hit. It is, of course, another lanolin and tallow-based soap. So if you're sensitive to lanolin, this would not be the soap for you. But the lathers I've had in the previous first Canadian soaps have been fantastic. I expect no less from this. This will be my first time using this soap. I have a little bit that I've pressed back into my Captain's Choice lathering bowl, which I do use on occasion. The E. Coloniale bowl, that's of course a fast favorite, but you got to switch things up a little bit, which is why I've also gone back to the Mongoose. So what I've been doing is, rather than sort of sticking with my 2 or 3 sort of top razors that work the best for me, I'm actually cycling through all of them and sort of rediscovering them, going through and using them. Otherwise, they're just sort of sitting unused in my fantastic replica Borderlands 2 loot crate. So this is one of the originals. I think I was in the first 50 maybe. This is the Dub Legend handle. This is not the monster handle. This was actually the smaller of the two. You can believe it. What I'm shaving with in there today is the Kai Captain Titan Mild Pink. I have no idea why it says pink on there. There's nothing pink about this. In fact, the case inside is blue and black, but whatever. These blades are a bit more mild and a bit more forgiving than the original Feather Pros that I started off with. And those were just terrible blades for me. These have worked out much better. Now, I will say that the first 2 or 3 shaves on that blade remained a little bit rough, a little bit tenuous. After those first 3, blade seems much better. This is shave 7 or 8, maybe 8 or 9. Don't exactly remember how many days I've been using in a row. For today's brush, I have another new item. This is a Rodneep olive wood hourglass handle, but with a boar knot, because I love me the boar knots. I do have, of course, my original Rodneep, which was this, an almost identical shape to the handle. This was the Badger version, but I decided to get a second one and went for the boar knots. I do love the boar knots. Yes, this knot looks small. It is actually already quite broken in. You'll see when we start using it, it does splay quite a bit, soften up very nicely. It's been soaking in some warm water for a few minutes. So let me go ahead and start the lather going. Just have it pressed into the dish. Yeah, for those of you that have recently received a new boar brush and are, worrying about breaking it in, really the trick to it is just to use it every day. Just use it normally every day. I know that some people feel like it takes a long time to break in. It just hasn't been my experience. They get better actually relatively quickly. After the first week or 2 of use, you could already start seeing a real difference in there. All right, this is with a relatively dry brush. I'm going to go back and add a little bit of water into the dish, not too much. Yeah, what I find is when I load in this dish, it just creates this sort of mountain of lather. I'm not lathering in the bowl, I'm just loading the brush, but the consequence of doing it in this bowl is it always creates this huge ring of sort of proto-lather, which I'm going to grab. Go and wet my face again. I have to say though, in terms of the dishes, I keep swapping back and forth between this one and the terracotta dish that the E. Coloniale came in. Oh. Yeah, I have to say, based on my recent set of soaps, I do like the tallow soaps. Lanolin is really an added benefit. Lanolin works well for my skin. I guess I'm lucky in that regard. I'd hate to be missing out on artisan soaps like this just because the lanolin doesn't agree with me. That'd be a bummer. All right, now As you can see, even though this is a relatively small boar knot, no issues creating a lot of lather. I'm going to add a bit more water. As you can, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's still, there's something about the way it sounds when you're lathering. You can sort of hear that it's a little foamy and airy. It doesn't sound sort of wet or wet enough. All right, just a little bit of water. I mean, look how much that's actually building up on there. You can see how quickly that takes on beautiful, nice, wet shine to it. And there we go. All right. Yeah, these soaps lather very easily. You know, I do know that for some of the other brushes I have, it's easy to overload. In that case, you just have to add much more water than you might like. I mean, that's just ridiculous. All right. Okay, likely just going to do a 2-pass shave today just because of the time. I know people keep asking I should keep doing a 3-pass shave, but that just seems like that's a very long video, and I'm not sure people are going to watch those. But if you really are interested in seeing the whole thing end to end, well, comment and let me know if there's a big interest in doing it. You know, I'll try doing it for a couple. Okay, now, 8 shaves on here, and the blade is still doing very well. It's a heavy razor, so you do have to watch out. If you have a tendency to press down or still use pressure when you're shaving, this is not going to be a great choice. Nice light touch. Broad head does make it kind of easy to go over. Make some quick work. And I know there's, you know, there are enough people out there that, for the Mongoose, have sort of dropped all their other razors. You know, they just find that they have a particular blade combo that works really well in this razor. Right here, for me, for example, using the Mongoose is one of those spots where if it's going to go wrong, likely to get some irritation. The soap, really nice. A nice slick layer of protection there. You know, the handle has no knurling or patterns, and so you'd think it'll be slippery, but in fact it actually isn't that slippery. It's kind of odd. You would expect it to be, it just isn't. When it gets really soapy and wet, yeah, it's slippery. You know, I'm using the original handle, but before I gave my my Mission away, I was actually using the Mission handle on this, which I think was a better fit. This is just a tad too heavy for me, just a little bit over the top. But I have other handles I can use on it. I just thought I would use it as it came. All right, pass number 1. Now, you can see no dissipation. The lather hasn't fallen apart or collapsed at all. Just going to scoop out some more from the dish. As always, I've rinsed my face, gotten a bit more water on there. You know, it just, at least that works the best for me. Starting off with adding that second and third lather to a wet face as opposed to a dry face just works well for me. I know there's plenty of people that don't rinse between, and that's fine. Just whatever works for you. All right, let's try to scoop off some of this. As you can see, there's a lot of lather there. Yeah, really enjoying this rod and neat brush. It was really quite a kind of a spur of the moment decision. Of course, having to explain to my to my family why I need yet one more brush. Well, I just threw up my hands and looked heavenward. All right, pass number 2. This is going to be across the grain, but kind of at a couple different angles. You know, and for those of you that are kind of worried about you have to follow these kind of rules about the shave, this is one of those passes where you can make some adjustments as you're shaving and make sure that rather than being super worried about the exact accurate across the grain, because your hair may grow in some crazy patterns, is let the comfort of your shave guide you here. So if you're shaving and you have kind of an odd pattern, for me, I've got some place where the hair grows upward, even though it grows down. On my chin, some of it grows down, but some parts grow across. Just sort of shave in such a way that you are going across the grain where you can, and comfort. Make sure that when you're shaving, that you're sort of letting your face guide you a little bit. All right. Now, this is one of those razors that for whatever reason, 9 times out of 10, I have some little spot. Maybe there was just a hair or a piece of skin, slightly elevated, tiny little weeper, but really gentle here. Easy to overdo it for me right there. Skin can get very sensitive, especially with this heavier razor. All right, so now this is a cross at the end here, but in fact, hair is turning a little bit, but in this case, I'm going to turn as well. So, cross, and then switch it up here. Now, and here's where, particularly with these, I need to be a little bit cautious. This is where this razor tends to give me a little bit of irritation, bottom of my neck. The other thing is, like right now, I'm making just one more stroke or two. Stop. Yeah, this is also one of those razors that I normally do not buff with. There's lots of razors that for my third pass, for example, I like to do sort of buffing for, against the grain, bottom of my neck. Doesn't seem to work for me with that razor at all. So I just don't do it. I just do slightly shorter strokes. All right, well, that soap lathered easily, very nice slickness. And when you rinse it, it's not one of those ones that just instantly poof, it's gone. Really still feel it. Yeah, nice. All right, well, for a 2-pass shave, there are, of course, areas I could clean up with the third pass, but in interest of time, I'm going to leave it be. All right. Let me clean off my face a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of a pleasure to go back and kind of rediscover these razors because, sometimes you just get in a groove and you're using the same razor or razors for quite a while and you have these, these other fantastic instruments just sort of laying around, and that is a real shame. So what I've gone back to now is every week or so is swapping out the razor and the brush. And I'll use every week, every 2 weeks, and just cycle through them because, I have 7, 8, 9 brushes. I've got, quite a number of razors. It's nice to go back and kind of rediscover some old favorites. And also when you get back to ones that you really love, it's just another joy right there. All right, now for the final bit here. I I'm going to be using, this is one of the sample sizes of the Kyovu aftershave from Barrister and Mann. The reason I got the sample size is that this is an aloe vera based balm slash splash. It's a splash, but for guys who would normally use a balm, is how it's advertised. This is in the Seville scent, and the scent is amazing. So right off the bat, I do love the scent of this. But based on the ingredients, I should not like this. I do not like aloe vera based products. I don't like that kind of sticky, tacky feel. I don't like how it goes on your skin or dries on your skin. Not really a big fan. And that is why I am mad, I tell you, at Barrister and Mann. I'm mad because I should not like this product. I shouldn't. But I do. I love this thing. And I've been using it really carefully. You can see I only have used half of it. I've had it for a while. This is really, really good stuff. And again, I shouldn't like it, but I love it. So let me go ahead and put this on. I think combination of aloe vera and the witch hazel is just, it works really well for my skin. So even though it is aloe vera based, I'm just squirting some in my hand. It is definitely very liquid. It's not thick at all. But when you start to rub it on, it has that initial aloe vera slickness to it, but it doesn't feel tacky. Slippery, I think, is probably the best description for it, rather than tacky. Smell is amazing. You initially put it on, it's like, wow, okay. Well, I hope this doesn't dry down to a tacky, like an after sun or sunburn kind of treatment. But the fact is, what happens is, it dries down to this soft, and it just feels fantastic. I know, like I said, I shouldn't like this, but I do. I'm supposed to be mad at this thing and just, tell you how terrible it is, but not at all. Stuff is fantastic. Highly recommended. If you're interested in an aftershave splash-ish, but you don't want to use a balm, this is a great in-between piece because it does have aloe vera in it. The witch hazel, I know for me, works great. See right there? One of those basically every time I shave with the Mongoose. There's always one little spot. But not to worry. I think that's more related not so much to the Mongoose, but to the fact that there's something about those single edge blades. They're just a little unforgiving. Now, I'm hoping to get 10, maybe 12 shaves out of that. So even though they cost more, you're still getting more shaves out of it. Yeah, that's just sort of the price you pay a little bit. Boop, see that? Nick sealed. I know, you're not supposed to lick them. All right, well, that's really it for me for today. Let's go back and review for all the products that we've used today. Another tallow and lanolin-based soap from First Canadian. Very nice scent. Lilac, neroli starts off. Nice, good perfume hit. Lathers very easily. Tallow and lanolin in there if you like it. Still includes silk. So just a nice, very easy to lather soap. As you can see, still going strong. No dissipation. Hasn't fallen apart. Easy to use. Very good protection. Good glide. Captain Titan mild. Yes, I got bit a little bit, but no worries. In my trusty Mongoose, solid stainless steel weapon of destruction. Big hefty handle. This is a no fooling around razor. And to close it out, that which I should hate, but I do not, the Barrister and Mann Kyovu aftershave splash slash balm, aloe vera and witch hazel based Seville scent. Wow, just fantastic. Well, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching again. If, of course, as always, if you have questions or comments, you can, of course, leave them against the video. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and until next time, goodbye.